Welcome to the Cool Tools Show. I'm Mark Frauenfelder, Editor-in-Chief of Cool Tools, a website of tool recommendations written by our readers. You can find us at cool-tools.org. I'm joined by my co-host, Kevin Kelly, founder of Cool Tools. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, it's great to be here.
In each episode of the Cool Tools Show, Kevin and I talk to a guest about some of his or her favorite uncommon and uncommonly good tools they think others should know about. So this is a special episode of the Cool Tools podcast because we have our regular crew of the small Cool Tools team of Claudia, Kevin, and I. And we're each going to talk about two of our favorite tools. And it's always fun when the three of us get together. We have a weekly phone call, but we don't often do it in public. So it's fun to have you both on. How's it going, Claudia?
Good.
Good. And Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing great. I had a great day today. I always enjoy talking about tools, big or small. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too. Let's start with Claudia, and we'll just kind of do a round robin. Claudia, you have a couple of tools. Why don't you pick one of them and tell us about it?
Sure. Okay. The first one I want to recommend is YouTube Premium. And I am using YouTube Premium as an alternative to Pandora or Spotify.
Well, for music.
For music, yes, for streaming audio, basically. So YouTube, you can listen to, YouTube on your phone, but the issue that I was having was that you cannot close the app and continue to listen to whatever you're streaming without paying for it.
Interesting.
So I debated for a long time whether or not I was going to subscribe because it is about $15 a month.
Okay.
But I just realized that I was listening to a lot more like YouTube soundscapes than I was Pandora. Like I had stopped listening to music, and I don't make playlists anymore because that is kind of time consuming and takes effort. And I'm just like within YouTube, using their search engine, would just look for like ambience sounds and soundscapes. And that's pretty much what I listen to all day while I'm working or taking walks. So I needed the ability to close out of YouTube on my phone and still be able to listen to whatever I was streaming. So I caved in and I paid for YouTube Premium, and I've had it now for a few months, and I canceled my Pandora account because I realized this is all I pretty much need. With YouTube Premium, you also get access to YouTube Music, which is a separate music streaming app like Pandora and Spotify. So you get access to both. They're two separate apps, and you can, I guess they call it background play. You can create playlists on YouTube Music also. So you have that option where you can just create a playlist, download it, listen to it offline, or just stream it and close out of the app and, turn off your phone or turn the screen off and just listen to a continuous stream of music.
So I'm confused by you when you say close out of the app. Do you mean that you move it? It's not on the front screen, but it's still open. Or
okay. It's called background play.
Okay.
If you're not a subscriber of YouTube and you open your YouTube app on your phone and start watching a video, you can't. If you turn off your phone, like your phone screen, like just turn it off, or if you just it'll stop playing.
Okay, and if you're on a desktop and you had it open and then you kind of go to if you go somewhere else on your desktop, I think you can still hear it playing.
Yes, yes, you can on your desktop, but I listen to YouTube. I stream it while I walk, so I stream it on my phone a lot more than Pandora, and I canceled my Spotify years ago, so I was only left with paying $13 a month for Pandora or $15 a month for YouTube, and I chose YouTube.
And this YouTube Premium of which you speak, is it also is that also the kind of like the paid YouTube version that they see advertised, where you
Yes. So
are
I think
getting
that, yes,
the special YouTube stuff?
So you get ad-free video too.
you get there's no ads. So I
That's
don't
what I
ever
would
hear
like.
YouTube ads.
Yeah.
And you also get access to their YouTube premium, like curated video or, play. I'm not sure what it is. I haven't explored that, but I know that I have access to like YouTube, their premium content only.
Yeah. Right.
Now, I've looked at it before, and I think the reason I haven't done it is because it's not a family plan. Is that right? It's just for one person?
Right. It is for one person.
Yeah.
The family plan is more. The
It's a lot
family
more.
plan, I think, is like $20 a month.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pricey.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about doing the YouTube premium, one, to get rid of the ads, and two, just to get the extra stuff. Occasionally I see something that's there. But I didn't realize that they also give you what you're telling us is they have this other audio component, which sounds pretty cool too.
Yeah, I like on YouTube you can find a lot of like soundscapes, like just background music that will last for hours.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 or 5 hours. So just I mean, I've listened to before I go to bed, like I'll put my AirPods in and I'll just have it play for 3 hours and then turn off. So I do get a lot of use out of it.
You have a soundtrack to your life now.
Exactly.
Well, the next step, I know what the next step is. The next step
What?
is that you have your smart glasses. It's seeing what you see, and it's adjusting the soundtrack to fit the moment.
Yes. The soundtrack to your life that can adjust, increase the emotional intensity.
Exactly right. You see a friend, your friend come up, and the music starts to rise. Okay, that's great. So, Mark, tell us your next your first pick.
Okay, so this is for a portable hard drive, and I think most people are familiar now with these USB powered portable hard drives. All you have to do is have a USB cable. There's no a power adapter or anything. They're very convenient. They're great.
They're solid state. The reason why they work is that they're basically a chip. There's nothing that spins around. There's no spinning stuff.
Yeah, and
so they're very rugged too.
They're very rugged. But I mean, I have a bunch of the actual spinning media ones that are USB powered, which are I have 1 terabyte ones, 2 terabyte ones. They're pretty inexpensive now. I think you can get like a 1 terabyte for under 100. But I did get this solid state one for the first time. They are much, much smaller, much lighter, and super fast. I am using this little Samsung thing that, I mean, it just feels like it's like 3 credit cards stacked up on top of each other. It's 1 terabyte, and I can back up my entire hard drive, like my Mac's 1 terabyte hard drive, in like a matter of minutes. It is so fast. It's blazingly fast. So it's a great way to back up your stuff quickly, or for scratch discs if you're doing audio or video editing and things like that. I am now going to just start using SSDs for everything and not use spinning media anymore, because that stuff is like antiquated junk.
So I actually had my tech guy swap out the spinning media in my Mac for SSD memory.
I bet it made a huge difference.
It's a huge difference, right? Because all these disks, even the internal disks were kind of failing after a couple of years, and these also don't fail as fast as the other version. And I did have one of these Samsung. I had a couple terabytes. Again, as Mark is correct, they're very, very lightweight, and I carried them when I was traveling as a backup for my photos, because I am a fanatic backer-upper of stuff when I'm traveling. I mean, I literally have 4 copies.
You can't have too many.
You can't have too many, and one of them was to this external couple terabyte drive, and it backs up instantly, much faster than it could come off of the card. The card was the photo card was the limiting gate, because these are much, much faster. But yes, they're really lightweight. They're very, very rugged. they're inexpensive, and they're pretty durable. So there's nothing to not like about them.
Yeah, and the price is getting to be competitive with spinning media too. So the next hard drive you buy, get an SSD. That's my recommendation, and you'll be amazed by the speed, the size, and the weight.
And Samsung seems to be the leader, and
I think
that is the
so.
one that I've generally gone with.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's just I can't recommend them enough. Okay,
Right.
Kevin, tell us one.
So, yeah. So one of the tools that I want to talk about today is it's a workshop tool. It's a tool I haven't been putting into my studio anywhere where I've had extension cords. And my solution up until now has been to cable chain these long extension cords. There's a kind of a cool way that you knot them that make them very, very easy to undo, but they still are a hassle. They're flop around. You still have to find somewhere. You have to undo them. Just dealing with long extension cords is a hassle. And the solution is a kind of like a roll up, automatic roll up that's very similar to what you have in your vacuum, the vacuum cleaner in your house, where you pull the cord out and then you can kind of tug it and it clutches, and then you can undo it and it spools back in.
Yeah.
Well, why can't you have a big one of those? Well, you can, and they're not that expensive, and you can get them in all different sizes from 30 foot to 80 foot. And that solves everything about extension cords. If you have an area where you always trotting out an extension cord, this is the way to do it. You put one of these in, you can hang them from the ceiling and put them on the side underneath something, and you just unroll it when you need it, and you tug it, and it closes up, and it's done. So I'm linking to one that I use. It's only 30 feet because that's all I needed. But Amazon actually has their own Amazon Basic brand for larger ones that go up to 50 feet or 80 feet. And you can get them different wire sizes depending on the load that you expect. But they really do solve the problem of long extension cords and where to store them, and unrolling them and rolling them up. It's just genius. It's just, I wish I had done this years ago.
Yeah. Oh, this looks great. Yeah. And it looks like it's easy to mount onto the ceiling or.
Right.
And how big is the spool? The actual
yeah, so
thing?
right, that's a good question. So the spool itself is about a foot in diameter, and it's maybe 4 inches thick. So it's kind of like a thick pie. And the ones that maybe 80 foot is a little bit, maybe they're 14 inches in diameter. So they're kind of, football scale magnitude size. And there is a version where you can kind of roll these up into a basket that don't work as well, in my opinion. This is one where there's a spring that just sucks it back into the roll, and that's what you want. So it's perfect for a garage. Like if you have a garage, that's where you want to put it, because at some point you probably have to roll out a extension cord for something rather, or in a workshop or a studio. Yeah.
Cool.
Super useful. That sounds good. Okay, Claudia, your turn.
Okay, my second one is a Chrome extension because I basically live in Chrome, and it's called Mindful, and it's designed by a guy that works at Google. He's a designer at Google, and what it is every time I open a new tab in Chrome, I go back to my ongoing list. It's a text editor.
Wait.
And
list.
It's basically a page. It's a blank page. You start with a blank page, and then what it is for me is it's a growing list of things to do, reminders, links to things I want to check out.
I see.
So it basically just imagine like a blank page every time you open a new tab, but it's the same page.
Oh, I see. So it's like a to-do list. Each time you open a new tab, it takes you back to your to-do list and says, "Remember these things that you were going to do today?"
So
exactly.
it's like your default blank page when you open a new tab.
Yes, and it saves everything that you type into it. And because it's saved in Chrome, I go back to the same list whether I'm on my desktop or my laptop. So if I move, every time I open a new tab, my to-do list is just there in my face, waiting to be checked off. And there is what I like about it though, is there is a like a limit to how much it will save.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I will just copy and paste and throw text there later to, edit or write. Sometimes, I'm just always pasting things on there. And then I'll get a warning, like you're reaching your max. It won't be able to save anything else you paste into this browser. So then that's when I'm like, okay, I have to clean it up. I have to go through everything I've saved and delete. So I like it just because like that, I mean, I have, I save things in Apple Notes and I have Evernote, but like the things that I save in Evernote, they're like, answers to research or things that I rarely go back to, but need to keep, in
it's more like an archive.
An archive. Yes. Thank you. It's more like an archive. And then my Apple Notes, I just dump so much stuff in there and maybe I'll go through it like once a month or something.
Yeah.
But my Mindful Chrome extension is something that I deal with every single day. And
does it keeps carrying everything forward until you clean it out? Okay.
Yes.
What I thought you were going to say, Claudia, was okay. Whenever you open up a new tab, it says you can't open up unless you close an old tab. And you can kind of set that like 25 or whatever it is, the max. And I thought that was what you were going to say.
Oh, well, that's because you definitely need that.
You close out all your tabs at the end of the day. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my
Who does? I can't. I manage my tabs. I can't
Mark,
let them get out of control.
Oh Mark? Man, I have tons of tabs open, and I it's kind of like, I don't close them out, and then they just fill up so much that my performance bogs down, and I have to just close them. Grudgingly.
So there's your answer of who doesn't, Claudia. Most people don't.
True.
Did you have more to say about this?
Yes, you can also format it. Like you can make text bigger. I mean, your options are limited, which I like. So, it doesn't get out of hand, but you can make headings and numbered lists and bulleted lists. So it's dark mode, light mode. So you can make it look however you want.
And it's free.
Is it free?
And it's free, yes. And yes, and it's a beta version, but I just checked out the guy's website, and he's thinking about making an app, a mobile app for it. So he's still working on it, and he does put out updates. So
Mindful.
Okay,
that sounds like a good one. And what does the creator say the purpose is for it? Do they have
it's a good, he does say something good. He says this project was inspired by a psychologist, Daniel Kahneman, whose concept is what you see is all there is. So the only notes you remember are the ones you see.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Donald Kahneman, he actually came to speak at Long now. So what you see, you only remember what you see. Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. That's by the way, that's Adam Savage's tool organization philosophy, which is first order visibility. So he tries to make his workshop so that he can actually see all his tools, and there's nothing behind other tools. So this idea of like increasing the surface areas, everything visible, so that you can kind of just immediately go and pick up what he needs.
That's smart.
The same idea that you're You'll forget about that you even have the tool if you can't see it.
Yeah.
See, that should be your tab philosophy.
Well, I can see all my tabs. They're in a little row at the top there. I can see all 100 of them right now.
But they're so like crammed together, they've lost the titles. I was like, what I have.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so okay, that's a good one. I will talk about my next one, which is something that I discovered a few weeks ago at Trader Joe's, but people are reselling them on Amazon, and it is an amazing powdered ginger. There's no sweeteners or anything, and it's not just a powdered ginger root, but it is the powdered ginger juice. So they like squeezed ginger plants and then freeze dried the juice into a powder. And so you can mix it into hot or cold water. And then you have like a really great ginger beverage that you can make as strong or as dilute as you want. You can add honey or lemon, and it's really refreshing. And I just drink it. I usually have it hot. So like twice a day, I will mix a half a pack with about 8 ounces of hot water, and it makes for a really good herbal tea. And if you've ever had ginger, it's peppery. Yeah, I feel like it kind of clears your nasal passages, and it's astringent. So it just feels really cleaning to your kind of mouth and nose and throat. And also, I feel like just the pepperiness is an alternative to caffeine. It can kind of make you feel a little perky when you're a little sleepy. And what I love about it is how easily it dissolves too. You know, it doesn't just like float around like some colloidal suspension. It actually dissolves, and so you have a pure solution, and that makes a big difference in the mixing and the enjoying of it.
Does it dissolve also in cold water, not just hot water?
It does. It does dissolve in cold water, and they recommend that you put it into like a bottle and shake it. But I think even stirring, if with sufficient stirring or using a little stick blender, you'll be able to dissolve it in cold water too. So,
will it clear out your nasal passages even when in an ice drink? Like if you,
I don't know. I haven't tried it that way, but it definitely. I think the pepperiness of it would help. You know, kind of in the same way like wasabi hits your sinuses instantly. This kind of hits your sinuses too. It's so good. I feel like there's a tonic quality to it too, that the more you drink over time, the better it is for you.
So people are buying this at Trader Joe's and then reselling it on Amazon?
Yeah, they are. And they do that with a lot of things, like that kind of famous everything but the bagel spice that they sell, which is kind of like powdered onion and poppy seed and sesame seeds and pepper and lemon. It's like a sprinkling seasoning. And you can only get it at Trader Joe's, but people buy it in bulk and then they resell it on Amazon at a bit of a premium. And so Amazon sells this, somebody, is doing it, and it's not that much more than you would pay for it at Trader Joe's. So,
not everybody has Trader Joe's near them. I think it's still kind of a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
But speaking of Trader Joe's, something we're addicted, particularly Jameen, is the almond cake. I don't know if you've ever had it at Trader Joe's. Oh my gosh. It's more decadent than any of the bakeries we've ever been to. I don't know what it is that they do, but check out the almond cake in the bakery department at Trader Joe's and tell me if we're wrong.
Okay.
Because,
oh my God. I want to get some tonight.
Right. So my second tool and our sixth tool for this little podcast is a very workshop-y thing. It's called a Just Right solvent dispenser can, although it's made out of plastic. And what it is in a workshop, you often need to have a solvent to clean things. That's a kind of a really common thing where you are cleaning something to prepare for painting or just to clean it in general.
Like degreasing.
Degreasing, cleaning a surface for a 3D printer pad. There's just tons and tons of uses. And because it's a solvent, you have to really make this tight. And so there's this thing of opening up a can of solvent from a really tight lid and then finding a cloth to pour it onto. Anyways, it's a hassle, but this little device has a seal that you just press on. You have a little finger hold and you turn it upside down, you press it, and the solvent comes out. And when you let go, it's a complete seal that keeps the solvent in over which you can store it in. And it's OSHA safe, meaning that it can't tip over very well and leak stuff out. It's not escaping. So it's a really, really convenient way to have a solvent on hand at all times very quickly. So you can just pour something in, because otherwise this is kind of a multi-step process that you would have to deal with. So you can keep acetone, which is what I keep in it. And it's always at the ready. If you need just a little bit of acetone, there it is. You're done. It's gone. I mean, it's there and you can get what you need. And you don't have to keep opening up cans and resealing them and etc. So it's something that a lot of places that use solvent a lot have sitting on their desks, and it's kind of a cute little its design reveals its function. It's nothing is hidden. So it's a little kind of about it's the size of a mug with a brass spring-loaded dispenser on top, and it has a kind of industrial look. And it's about $30, and it should last forever.
It looks like a fat baby fire extinguisher.
Yes, in red.
Yeah,
but it's not nearly as big as a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Think more of a large, oversized coffee cup.
Right. That's great. So you fill it up with your acetone, and then you tip it upside down.
You turn it upside down, and you press on the thumb wheel, we'll call it, and that opens up the valve, and the stuff pours out.
Is it like a metered dose, or does it just?
No.
Okay.
It's not metered.
Out. Okay.
Yeah.
That looks like a useful thing to have.
Yeah, it's amazingly handy, and it's increased my the likelihood that I'll clean something really good, because I don't have to go through the normal process of unsealing a can of it somewhere, because it's just right there, and I'll have a paper towel, and then it's done.
That sounds great. Well, we were very efficient. We went through 6 tools in a tiny amount of time. So one thing I think that we haven't mentioned enough is that our YouTube channel is really great. We have a lot of original content on there. We also, Kevin, Claudia, and I also make videos that we call Recommendo Shorts, where we talk about a lot of the same kinds of tools that we talk about today, but we actually show them to you in action. So it's really easy to get to too. You just go to youtube.com/cool tools. Is that right? I think that's it.
Yeah.
And it'll take you there.
Yes, that'll work.
Right.
Also, we have started uploading current and past podcast episodes to YouTube. So if you have YouTube Premium, you could stream them without ads, and you can close out of your app.
Right. Yeah, and there's no pictures. We aren't recording the video, but it's just the audio. But you can listen to it. And wait, there's more. We are also now starting to solicit from our readers and listeners video short reviews, like we're doing ourselves, but these will be reader written or viewer made, recorded, short 3-minute or less videos that use your phone to review or rave about a favorite tool, just as we have. And we have a little form that gives you a couple of little instructions, like horizontal mode and less than 3 minutes, and take a picture of the tool in use and not yourself. So we welcome those and work. It's kind of an experiment to see how many we get, and if we get enough to kind of keep going, we will. So we'll put a link for that in the show notes, and just go over, fill the form out, and tell us about one of your favorite tools. And we pay for anything we publish.
That's right. And speaking of that, paying,
there's more.
There's one more thing. We have very, very little advertising throughout our entire Cool Tools network of podcasts, newsletters, our website. We have one small ad on the website. So one thing that we would love is, if you like what we're doing, is to support us through Patreon. It's really easy. You go to patreon.com/cooltools, and even $1 a month means a lot, makes a big difference. If you give us $2 a month, we'll give you a shout out here on the podcast. And we have other tiers of membership where you can get things like books or an Ask Me Anything private one-on-one with us. So please visit patreon.com/cooltools. We'd really appreciate it.
I'll steal a little line from Austin Kleon, who said, "Cool Tools and Recommendo, we're free but not cheap."
Exactly. That is true, and will always be free, and never feel obligated to pay. But if you can kick in a couple of bucks a month, it would be great. So thanks, everybody, for joining us on this podcast. And Kevin and Claudia, thanks a lot for sharing your tools. Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's Mark from the Cool Tools podcast. I want to thank you for being a listener to Cool Tools. And I also would like to let you know about our Patreon page. If you would like to support the Cool Tools show, as well as our video channel, the website, and all the newsletters that we do, you can go to patreon.com/cooltools. That's just one word, Cool Tools, and pledge any amount you want. You could even pledge $1 a month. Every little bit helps. We have editors, we pay for transcribing costs, we pay our reviewers. Every bit of money that you contribute goes towards supporting the show. I'd like to give a shout out to our supporters of the Cool Tools podcast. This week, I'd like to thank the following Patreon supporters: Bill Schuler, Bob Kay, Brian Pelly, Carl D. Patterson, Chad Cosby, Chris Wieland, Chris Weirstook, Craig Tooker, Dan O'Brien, Dean Putney, Danelle Cunningham, Evan Barker, Graham Medlin, Hans Riesbeck, Helen Hegedus, Jerry Kearns, Jim Lesko, Jim Spofford, John Pollock, John Burdenbaugh, Keith O., Ken Altman, Les Howard, Lauren Bast, Mock Nerd, Malton Make, Mark Goebel, Matt Gromes, Michael Douglas, Michael Jones, and Michael Pecorini. Thanks to all of you for supporting the Cool Tools show. We really appreciate it.